Yeah. Ay. Yeah. Ay. Yeah. Voice. Yeah. Hold on.
Welcome to the next series of episodes for our program and our podcast called Get in the Game. And the idea is to kind of go to the inside of this thing and get inside the minds and the heads and the hearts of those who really are responsible for this great game of football. And it is my absolute pleasure today to have with us in this discussion on this podcast, Mike Cofer. Coach Cofer, welcome to the program. I want to brag on you a little bit. There are a lot of things that I want to brag about on you and just go through the list. So, bear with me as I go through this. So I get to brag on Coach Cofer a little bit. We're talking about head coach at the Slam Academy, also the athletic director. Is that correct, Coach?
Yes, sir. David,
Slam Academy. And I'll get into the Slam Academy concept in just a minute. What it stands for is the Sports Leadership and Management Academy in Nevada. And I understand there are a couple other places in the South Florida areas. Is that correct? In Miami as well, too?
Yeah, and slams have started to grow around the country, but the original Slam Academy was in Miami, right down in center of Miami. And, of course, Pitbull was a big supporter of getting that going. And we were the second Slam in the country. And they started to sprout in other areas all around the country. And so, the idea is to infuse sports leadership and management ideas into a basic core curriculum.
That is outstanding. I only wish there was something like this around when I was going through high school, given the fact that I've had a background in sports management and leadership. This sounds fantastic. So I want to talk more about that. And the academy concept and what kids are doing there as I finish bragging on you. But this is a man who spent 8 years in the NFL, correctly? Am I correct on that? 8 years in the NFL, an NC State graduate. You're with the Wolfpack. That's awesome.
Go Wolfpack. Although where I'm at, David, it gets a little confusing because Reno is also the Wolfpack. So yeah. I'm definitely in the minority of the Wolfpack in this area.
we like Wolfpack though. That's a good program, man. We were talking earlier off air about some of the. I thought it was fascinating, some of the names and the coaching tree that you were with and under. You want to get through that a little bit and talk to that a little bit. I think our audience would love to hear about that.
Sure. Yeah. Being recruited out of high school, I was fortunate enough to be recruited by Mike Cofer, who was at NC State at the time. And then it really came down between NC State and Wake Forest, being I was from Charlotte. So I kind of wanted to stay fairly close to home. Mm-hmm. But Al Groh was at Wake Forest at the time. And, of course, they both went on to
legendary
better
NFL
things
coaches.
in the NFL.
Legendary, yeah.
Yeah, so went on to bigger and better things in the NFL. But on Monty's staff, we also had Pete Carroll, was actually a young defensive backs coach at the time. So everybody knows who Pete Carroll is.
Yes, sir.
And I know that Coach Groh had a number of gentlemen on his staff that matriculated into the NFL. And then, as well as Monty and going on, I think he went to Minnesota and Tampa Bay and kind of with who was the Tampa Bay coach?
Was he with Coach Dungy at all?
Dungy, I think, was a player.
Okay, Dungy was under him. Okay,
maybe. I'm not sure. No, Dungy was a young defensive coach as well. Okay. I think when Monty then they kind of developed the Tampa 2 system,
right?
In Tampa, so
right.
Yeah, some big names that were rolling through there at the time, and alma mater of Bill Cowher.
Right.
NC State was an alma mater of Bill Cowher, so we always had to hear the stories about Coach Cowher. One of my mentors, you might say, in NC State was a gentleman named Jim Richer, who was an Outland Trophy winner.
Okay.
And he kind of guided me on to his agent when I was coming out. So Jim was a bastion of stability, you might say, in Buffalo for years as a center.
Okay.
And he was an Outland Trophy winner at NC State back in the day. So
which is fantastic to be an Outland Trophy winner. That's outstanding. Wow. That is a heck of almost a murderer's row of outstanding coaches, players, etc. Cower, etc. I'm great big fans of those guys and have enjoyed them for years. You yourself, however, I'm not done with you. I'm not done with you. You kicked for 8 years with the NFL, stints with the Browns. Let me get this right: Browns, 49ers, Saints, and the Colts, which I lived in Indianapolis, big Colts fan. Two-time Super Bowl champions, Super Bowl 23, 24. Am I correct?
Yeah, those are first 2 years in San Francisco. The majority of my time was spent with the 49ers.
Sure.
Sure. Prior to going to San Francisco, I was in Cleveland. That was my first effort was in Cleveland with Marty Schottenheimer, and then went down to New Orleans for a cup of coffee. And ended up heading out to San Francisco. Great gentleman by the name of Lynn Stiles was the special teams coach. And I'll give you a story, David. I was at NC State, and I'd gotten hurt my senior year. I'd gotten hurt, and ended up getting a medical hardship, and was able to come back for a second senior year. And Dick Sheridan come in as head coach. And we had a really strong team, and we ended up going to the Peach Bowl. I think we had 9 or 10 wins, most wins in a long time in the history of the school. And anyway, Lynn Stiles had come out from the 49ers because I had a pretty decent senior year there after I'd come back. And he had a workout scheduled for me, and it was pouring. It had poured down rain. And I had twisted my ankle the day before playing intramural basketball. And he showed up, and the wind, it was a bad day. It was like 33 degrees and raining. Yeah. And he goes, "Hey, Mike, I understand if you want to postpone this, we can do it." And I said, "No, Coach, you come all this way. Let's go out there and do it." So we went out and kicked in the mud and muck, and I had a pretty decent workout and all that. And I think that, and he said, "You know what, Mike, that's what impressed me more than anything is that you were willing to just go ahead and go." Sure. Because you never know what kind of conditions you might get out here in Candlestick Park. So anyway, really fortunate to get a workout with him. But it was another year before he reversed back to that workout because I'd gone to Cleveland then, and he said, "Mike, I remember that workout. We want to go ahead and bring you in, on a free agent deal." So ended up going to San Francisco. When I showed up, there were 10 other guys there trying to kick the ball. Okay. Those were in the days of no roster limits for training camp. So we had, there was 150 guys in training camp, and 10 of them were kickers, and slowly got whittled down. And, fortunate enough to be at the right place, the right time, and, have some good fortune come through in some preseason games and ended up earning the spot. So
that is a great story. And I think it really lends to the idea that there's not, you could be as exceptionally talented as you want to be, great collegiate experience for you, but nothing's really guaranteed, is it?
Right. We trying to impress upon the kids here too. I said, you never know when that opportunity is going to come. So, you got to be prepared for any opportunity that's going to step in front of you. Sure. If you only prepare for the opportunities that are coming, then you're going to miss out on a lot of good stuff because oftentimes it's that opportunity that arises. And if you're in a constant state of preparation, you're going to be ready to take advantage of it. If not, you're going to just curl up and waste away into the sunset.
No question.
Yeah.